Hey, what's up my people, this is IceRestrict12. Today I'm bringing you an updated version of my Eldlich Zombie World deck profile. I had the chance to finally take it to locals and see, kind of what works, what doesn't, and this deck did amazingly. We ended up second place the first time we went to locals, and then the following week we ended up top 4, only losing twice to Virtual World, which is one of the best decks in the entire format, if not the best deck at the moment, but we were able to get some very significant wins against decks like Dragon Link and Tri Brigade. So without further ado guys, let's go ahead and go over the deck list. This is Eldlich Zombie World updated version. Enjoy! Very well guys, so for your monsters, we are playing 2 copies of Eldlich the Golden Lord. This right here along with Doom King Ballardrock, these are the boss monsters of your deck. Doom King Ballardrock is what's going to keep your opponent at bay, activating its effects of banishing and negating monster effects, and Eldlich the Golden Lord is what's going to be able to remove from the field any problematic cards that have destruction protection. It's also a beat stick when you bring them from the graveyard, and it's exactly what you need on the field when you're trying to activate all your golden land cards, as they need Eldlich the Golden Lord to be on the field to get their effects off. Now the next thing we play, this is the opener of the deck. This is the one thing you always want to draw turn 1. It is Unizombie. It's going to help you dump those very key monsters into your graveyard so that you can get their effects off. One of those monsters you're going to be dropping into the graveyard every single turn is Necroworld Banshee. Necroworld Banshee allows you to activate Zombie World directly from the deck, which is in itself very powerful. And when she's face up on the field, will protect your Zombie World as well. Now we play a Glow of Bloom because that is how important Doom King Ballardrock is to the deck. This is how you're going to bring them onto the field most of the time, but every now and then you're going to be bringing Eldlich the Golden Lord as well. And finally we play 3 copies of Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, and the reason why is because it's very generic. It stops almost every search in the game, but also the cool thing about this is that since it's a zombie type monster, it will get the effects of, it will trigger the effects of Doom King Ballardrock as well. For the spells guys, we run 3 copies of Pot of Prosperity. If you are a budget player, feel free to use Pot of Extravagance. Just make sure you run 2 copies of the most important extra deck monsters, which will be things like your Vampire Suckers, your Avenged Saviors, your Eldlich, your Nether Soul Dragon, your probably Barricade Board Blocker, those cards that are going to help you, actually get your strategy going. Now the other thing you want to run is run 3 copies of Cursed Eldlich. A lot of your cards require you to discard for cost. This is what's going to keep that hand economy going, and also is going to get you, the boss monster of your deck, which is Eldlich the Golden Lord, along with the Golden Land cards. You want to play 3 copies of Super Poly. This along with the Ash Blossoms, these are your going second cards. This is how you're going to dismantle your opponent's boards. If most of the cards like boss monsters in the meta right now are targets for Super Poly, but if not, you can also just go the plan route, where you can turn something your opponent controls into a dark attribute and then use it as a material for something like Starving Venom Fusion Dragon. We're going to play also 2 copies of Zombie World. This right here is the MVP of the deck. This with Rivalry of Warlords is what's going to win 80% of your matches. This card alone actually beats a lot of decks like Tri Brigade loses to this, Dragon Link loses to this. So this card right here can just completely shut down many strategies, and this is the main reason why I played this deck. You also want to play 2 copies of Elixir of Black Awakening. If you are a little bit on a budget, you can run White Destiny as well, but it's not that useful. It does have its uses, but I'll go Elixir of Black Awakening all day long. This helps you set your Eldlich the Golden Lord turn 1. It's amazing. I want to see this card every single turn. But if you are playing at budget, probably go with White Destiny. The other cool thing about this card is that when like every other Elixir card, when they go to the graveyard, they help you get your golden land cards as well. And the one thing that we play here that I kind of underestimated was Foolish Burial. For my deck, this was kind of a flex spot, but after playing it, I realized how vital this card is, because remember, a lot of times you're just trying to get some very key pieces into your graveyard, such as the Banshees, the Ballardrocks, the Eldlich, and even of course your Glow of Bloom to get the Ballardrock. So this card right here guys is very vital. I feel like it's almost like playing 4 copies of Unizombie, which is great. So that card guys is a must. And for the trap cards guys, we're going to run 3 copies of Elixir of Scarlet Sanguine. This is how you're going to bring the Golden Lord most of the time. Very important, very vital card. Now the next thing we play is 3 copies of Conquistador of the Golden Land. This is how you're going to destroy cards your opponent controls, and it does not target, which is great. we're going to play 2 copies of Wakero. You're going to banish cards in your opponent's graveyard without targeting as well, which is actually really good in this meta. So if you want to do 3 Wakeros and 2 Conquistador, you can do that as well. One thing we play, guys, we play Golden Land Forever. Now let me talk about this card. This card is very important in this deck because this deck dies very, very easily to cards like Harpy's Feather Duster or Lightning Storm. I cannot tell you how many times I set up a very strong board just for it to go to the trash because my opponent, drew turn 1 their copy of Harpy's Feather Duster. The reason why is because one of the main weapons of this deck is, or actually the main weapon of this deck is for you to have Zombie World, turn everything into zombies, and then lock them with Rivalry of Warlords. They can't play the game if you do that. Now you keep Doom King Ballardrock as control to stop their effects, but all your opponent's monsters need to be zombies. So if you set up a powerful board with with Zombie World and the Rivalry and Ballardrock, and even maybe set some Golden Lands with Eldlich to destroy whatever they try to start, well, guess what? 1 Harpy's Feather Duster and you lose your whole back row. All you're left with is an Eldlich that does nothing, and then you end up with a Ballardrock that cannot be activated because your opponent is not playing zombies. So again, protect yourself against Harpy's Feather Duster and Lightning Storm. This deck dies so easily to that. That's why we play this card, and that's why we also play the last 2 cards. Now, Rivalry of Warlords along with Zombie World, this is what makes the deck so strong, especially in this meta. This is what's going to get you 80% of your wins, that lock right there. So definitely run it at 3. And just the Solemns, just with like Golden Land Forever is just to protect your back row, because that's the one thing you die to very, very quickly. Very well, guys, and we made it to the end of the video where we're going to talk about the extra deck. Now for the extra deck, we run 1 copy of Eldlich the Mad Golden Lord. This card right here is pretty good because once Zombie World is on the field, you're going to be able to use any level 5 or higher monster your opponent controls as material for this card. Another card we play is Dragon Necro Nether Soul Dragon. This card is pretty good. It's just more generic targets for your Super Poly. When Zombie World is face up on the field, you're going to be able to target monsters your opponent controls up to 2 and use them. Now keep in mind, if you have Rivalry of the Warlords already face up on the field, you won't be able to bring this card because although it needs 2 zombies, for some reason it's a dragon type monster. And the next one, just more generic fusion materials. We have right here we're playing Mud Dragon of the Swamp. Alright, sorry about that, guys. We're trying to get them. There you go. Now they're all in frame. Alright, guys, so we play Mud Dragon of the Swamp. We also play 1 Starving Venom Fusion Dragon and 1 Predator Plant because there's a lot of very strong fusion monsters that we want to get rid of. Lastly, we play a copy of Divine Arsenal AA Zeus. That card is pretty good when you actually get to make it. Just keep in mind that a lot of cards in your deck will lock into zombie monsters such as Glow of Bloom or the Elixir cards. Other thing we play 2 of the Super Dreadnought Rail Cannons. We play Juggernaut Libe to finish off your opponent, and the Gustav Max for when you're running out of time and you need to just punch your opponent with 2000 and win the match. We also play 1 Constellar Pleiades because we play the Golden Land cards and they're all level 5 light attribute monsters. And the other thing we play Avenged Savior. You're not always gonna get a Unizombie or Foolish Burial, and that acts like both. We're also gonna do a Vampire Sucker. Now there's a combo that you can do with Vampire Sucker and Doom King Ballardrock. Just be very mindful, guys. Probably don't do it turn 1. A lot of people are playing Call by the Grave, so I lost my Doom King Ballardrock so many times because I do that combo where you send him to the grave, then on standby he summons himself, activates Vampire Sucker, which gives me a card, and then that activation in turn activates Doom King Ballardrock. But a lot of times people will draw that Call by the Grave turn 1 and get rid of one of the most important pieces in your deck. So probably wait turn 2 or 3. Other thing we play is Verte Anaconda. If those targets that you have in your deck are not generic enough, Verte Anaconda can turn any monster your opponent controls into a dark attribute so that you can use it. And then we also play 1 Link Karibo to get rid of Glow of Bloom. We play 1 Link Spider to get rid of the Golden Lands, and we play 1 Barricade Board Blocker. This card is clutch. It helps you get rid of things you don't need from your hand, and it also helps you get Cursed Outlands from the graveyard, but most importantly, it protects all your spell cards from destruction. Alright guys, so this is the profile, guys. Like I said, I put a lot of testing. I already took it to locals, ended up 2nd place the first time, and then the second time I was top 4. And that top 4, I lost twice to Virtual World, which is one of the best decks of the format. So, you know, I'll take that. But the first time we took it to locals, we ended up 2nd place. All right, guys. So I hope you like this video. If you like my content, please like, subscribe, keep following me, guys. Let me know in the comment section what you guys want to see next, and I'll catch you in the next one.